Hey guys, welcome to the CO visit. Colin here, and always my trusty coffee. Hmm. Well, appreciate you guys always. Thank you for clicking on this video. And so, what I want to talk about today is couple things. Couple things. Um, and First of all, a person made comment really interesting to me, along with the thumbnail. The name of this video of just how I react when I see people, Jehovah's Witnesses, just trying to putting in so much effort into defending the organization, even when it comes to CSA. And you really see the denial kicking in, and how they're really trying to justify it. Because yeah, I know the alternative is not good, is it? But that's the reality, guys. And so I had this guy made a comment, and he removed it afterwards. Actually, he removed the comment. So maybe something I said when I replied to him hit a nerve. So I'm gonna respect that, and I'm not gonna say the name or anything like that. But basically, the gist of the comment was, and I did take a screenshot of it, so I was actually gonna use it in this video later on, but I'm not gonna post it. But he was saying that there are documented cases of many congregations that report CSA to the authorities. And what I'm saying and what I'm talking about is just basically, it's my own personal like dissension. It's my own bitterness against the organization, and that's great what I'm saying for ex-witnesses, but it doesn't have any other effect other than that. Okay, so you see, Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, this is stuff that when I talk about these topics and the information that I give to you, it's not from me. I'm not making this up. This is information that you can find, but you need to put in the work. You go find it. You do the research. It's easy for people just to come on, they send me messages. Oh, can't you just give me a link? Can't you do the and I just usually tell them, no, no. I found the information. So can you. So can you. Because we need to earn knowledge for ourselves. And that's going to help you wake up. Because when you find it for yourself, then it's on you to what you do with that information after that. But if I just give it to you, then it's like it didn't cost you anything. You need to do that research. But what I told this gentleman that said that this was just, there was dissension in the congregations, and I'm like, no, you just don't get it, do you? You don't get it. You can go on the internet. You can go onto Google, and you can find copies, downloadable copies of the Shepherd the Flock of God manual from decades ago. And the fact that if what he's saying, that congregations, there's lots of congregations that are reporting that, well, maybe now they are. Maybe now they are because of all these lawsuits, but we're not talking about right now. We're talking about a procedure. We're talking about a culture that has existed for 40 plus years. This was printed in the manual since the 1980s for the elders. Not to report to the authorities. You call the legal department in Brooklyn at that time, and you leave it to them. That was the culture that was created for decade after decade after decade. Don't reproach Jehovah's name. Don't upset the peace in the congregation. This is in writing. Now, if they're doing it now, also what I told them, if they're doing it now, it's not all of the congregations. It depends on what region they're in, what state they're in, and the state's reporting policies when it comes to CSA. I've done my homework, man. I'm not making this shit up. Y'all need to go out there and do your own research, Jehovah's Witnesses. For example, in Montana, they're reporting it, well, they will be now, and they managed to save themselves from a criminal verdict and lawsuit. They ended up settling out of court, but the only reason that happened, Watchtower saved its own ass in Montana because they had to register the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses as having a clergy class. You see, they didn't have that before. They claimed it. They said that they did, but the judge was like, well, you can't just say it. So they had to restructure the organization based on that, but on that state. On that state. Okay? And they claimed the clergy secrecy policy and privilege when it comes to judicial committees and all of that. But they still had to settle out of court, but it just wasn't criminal. It went to civil and then they settled out. So please, don't come to me and say that all of a sudden, without having done any research, without doing anything outside of what Watchtower tells you, and then come to me and say, oh, but yes, the congregations are reporting. Get real, man. Get real. Either you haven't been in the organization for that long, or you've never done any type of independent research, and you're indoctrinated, and you're partial, you're biased. Okay, you need to open your eyes. Open your eyes. Any changes that are happening right now in the organization, the beards, the pants, all this other bullshit, that's the result of lawsuits, or it's a result of punishment or something they've lost because of what governments are doing to them. Like, for example, in Norway, they lost their status. They had their status revoked as a religion in Norway. And why? Human rights violations, shunning, all the other stuff. Okay? This is not new light. This is not Jehovah's loving arrangement. They're reacting to the secular system and governments and courts coming down on them. And to save their ass and to try to get people back in and to try to get money back, because they're losing a shitload of money in Norway without being a registered religion, because the Norwegian government pays them yearly, like $3 million, something like that. And they want to get that back. That's why this is happening. These things are happening because they're breaking laws. So that's why when I hear people and when I see people, when I see comments of people defending the organization, and then they have done absolutely no research outside of that influence, and yet they still have the gall to come on and leave comments and say that I don't know what I'm talking about, or it's not that way. You need to know, because if you're right now, if you are an active witness, you have absolutely no idea what internal things go on in the organization. You don't even know what the manual says. And you know what? You don't need to read the one right now. You need to read the manuals back from like the early 90s forward and see what they say, because that reflects the reality of that time when it was pre, or even the early internet days, but where information wasn't all out there like it is now, pre cell phone, social media, all of that. And then we'll talk. But people, and especially Jehovah's Witnesses, you need to go out there and do the research for yourself. Don't ask me for links. Don't ask me to translate this or to do that or to send you this or that. Look for yourself. Earn the knowledge for yourself and open your eyes accordingly. Because that's what knowledge does. When you get that knowledge and you see the reality, you see the truth of the truth, now a whole new door opens up before you of decisions. And you can either do A, you can do nothing, like the people who bury their heads in the sand and say, well, even if it's wrong, I'll still follow Jehovah. Which in that case, I can't help you. That's just beyond stupidity. Or you can B, you have that knowledge now and you make the according changes. Now, either you can stay in the organization and try to champion changes, try to do activism from within and be a witness and say, hey, I want to be a witness, but these things have to change. And start making those changes, in which case, guess what? They're going to remove you anyway. Because once you start suggesting anything like that, you're now labeled as apostate. So this leads me to the last part of this video, guys. Okay? The challenge that I want to put out there to Jehovah's Witnesses. Because the organization has always been, since forever, so adamant about don't talk to apostates, don't talk to ex-witness, people who are disfellowship, and this and that. They'll lead you astray. They're mentally diseased. And having no contact. You cannot talk to apostates. And yet, they're not reflecting, if you read your Bible, they're not reflecting what your God did. God gave and has given, and evidently continues to give, Satan his say. Read the book of Job. Satan was not barred from entering heaven. He walked right in. And not only that, God patiently listened to him on 3 occasions, listened to his arguments, listened to his grievances, and not only that, he played out a little bet with him. And the way the witnesses teach, this whole existence of mankind up until right now is a result of Satan's challenge all the way back from the Garden of Eden. So this is what the challenge that I present to you. The same with us. The same with ex-members, quote unquote apostates. Do your research. Hear me out. Hear us out. What do you got to lose? If you do, and you watch these channels and you do the research, and it's not just going on YouTube and clicking on videos. They did all their work. You need to find it for yourself. And then, if we're wrong, well, guess what? Your faith will be fortified. You'll feel justified, and you'll continue on, happy as can be, as a witness. But if we're right, what are you going to do then? You're tasked to do something. So, are you going to be the ostrich? Or are you going to metamorphosize into something new with that knowledge that you have? Is that knowledge going to make a change in you? It's all up to you. But what I'm telling you is listen to the information that we're giving you and then look for it yourself. Do the research yourself and find out how your reality starts to shift and change, and how other people in your congregation will start to change towards you when you bring out the real truth to them, not their version of the truth, the truth. Because when I'm giving you the truth, for example, with what's going on with CSA and all of that, and you come back with me with denial and you're trying to justify it, and you're doing that without knowledge yet. So that's my message for today. And I hope it resonates with some of you out there. This is particularly for ex witnesses already know, but Jehovah's Witnesses that are watching these videos constantly. And I want to thank you guys, because the last video I did, the one that took me forever to upload, like 3 times to upload, that I started since 2 in the morning the other day, almost 4,000 views already. I want to thank you from my heart. And I also want to ask a favor. I don't know if you can all do this, but those of you who are watching those videos, I've got 1,700 and change of subscribers, and I've got videos that are consistently hitting those numbers. Could you subscribe to the channel? Could you help us out with that? Because that's all you need to do. It won't cost you anything more. But I know that there are people out there consistently watching these videos that are not subscribed, and the only reason I talk about subscriptions and the views, because my only payment is the YouTube algorithm. The more views we get, the more subscribers we get, the more they will suggest the videos out there. And that gets the message out there. That's what I want, to get the message out to as many people possible. Could you do that for me? Think about it for New Year's. Let's start off 2025 with a bang. Okay, thanks for watching the CO visit, and I'll see you guys in the next one.